Hi there, it's Darlene. I hope you're having a good day today. I just had some really interesting news and some very interesting information from Real Funding Program. And what it does is it shows how Jono was planning everything that he did right from the very, very beginning, and how he was selling one thing, but he never was selling it. So let me explain. I'm sure you all remember when Jono pulled Real Funding Program. Like, first of all, he was putting everybody through it, and then he had to say, oh, no, these things went wrong with Real Funding Program, and we're going to have to put everybody out of it. So here's how he put it.
Hey there, it's John Armstrong here. Now, you are watching this video because you are currently with Real Funding Program. Now, Real Funding Program has recently made changes to their terms and conditions that we don't agree to. Specifically, this refundable registration fee, which on their website says that it is refundable, okay? They are not issuing evaluation fee refunds, okay? That's one of the things. And the other thing that is unclear is the payout percentage. Now, these changes that they've recently made to their terms and conditions are not under our control, and we feel that they are not in the best interests of our members.
So there's his excuse as to why Infinity people had to leave Real Funding Program. It's because it was their fault. Basically they weren't making refunds anymore, and the payout percentage was in question. He didn't say anything for sure about it, but that it was in question. Now, I never really thought about it, but if you think about it this way, is that we only have Jono's word on it that they weren't making those refund payments. We don't actually know that, except that he just told us that. And how could he possibly know that they weren't giving refunds back? Because it takes at least a month for a person to pass their challenges, and then it's another 30 days before you can get your first payout, which is when you get your refund back. He wasn't with Real Funding Program for 2 months. And at the same time, he was making statements in his own comments off of his own videos saying, nobody's passed yet. We don't have figures. Nobody's passed yet. And then this comes up that all of a sudden, we have to pull them out, but because they're not giving refunds. How do you know they're not giving refunds? Why did you have to pull people out of there? So did you ever wonder what Real Funding Program actually thought about all this? Well, let's have a look at it here. One of the members from the refund group that are busily getting their chargebacks done came up with this because they were asking Real Funding Program some questions about the whole Infinity thing. And Real Funding Program came back and said, this is misinformation from Infinity, because this person was asking about the refund. We never changed any of our terms. Remember? Jono said that they had changed their terms. No, they never changed their terms. The only thing we do not agree with Infinity is when we heard he would be trading the accounts of the people from his group. That he would be trading the accounts of the people from his group. This is against our rules because we want each trader to handle their own account. Account management is not acceptable by us. No, it's not. It's not acceptable by any prop firm. And that's what I brought out to Jono from the very get-go. But that's what he had to say. But let's see what Jono then said. So, this is from my very, very, very first video, like a gazillion years ago, it seems like now. If you read from the bottom on up, this is a conversation I had with support from FTMO. And he goes, hi, my name is Rami. How can I help you? And I said, when you have time and when it's not Christmas, I would like to know your policy on people that represent themselves as being able to pass your challenge for multiple other people. Is this allowed or no? Because a high-priced marketer is advertising as such. Support comes back and says, if recognized, would be deleted. It's not allowed. So I made that very, very clear on this video. Now, interestingly enough, Jono and I had a conversation on that video, and yet he deleted his comments. Well, little did I know that that YouTube Studio actually keeps all these comments. Now, I've just been using the app on my iPad, and so I haven't been seeing, I haven't been able to go back on the really old conversations. Oh, but on the website you sure can, and you can go back and get all of your old conversations, even the ones that some fool deleted himself and thought wouldn't get out there. So here is from Jono Armstrong. And he replied to my video. And he says, actually, we're not using FTMO or MFF. FTMO was used as an example of a prop firm in the sales video, as it's the most well-known, so many people will know what a prop firm is. The prop firms we work with have a special agreement with us that allows us to pass members. Really? Because the Real Funding Program, which is the prop firm he's referring to, they don't recognize any such agreement. Now notice in my reply, however, all prop firms across the board have the same rules, and if anybody thinks that your special traders will get special privileges from the brokers are fools. But thank you so much for the heads up. Because I had no idea at the beginning what he was trying to pull. And it's this, that the prop firms we work with we have a special agreement that will allow us to pass members. Who is that prop firm? Real Funding Program. Real Funding Program's broker was 8cap. They don't have 8cap as a broker anymore. I would say nobody would take them on. No broker would take them on until they got rid of this guy. So, it's been an interesting journey watching this. It's amazing. I'd like to let the lady that found all of this sum it up, however. So the person that dug up the information from Real Funding Program, that they never did allow account management, which is what Jono and Jonas are so desperately still trying to do. And here's her observations. She says, for those still trying to get a refund and banks not believing something is fishy with that Infinity service, maybe this can serve as proof of the Infinity scam. Infinity/Jono tried to sell a service that was doomed for failure right from the start. What he calls a legal loophole, and oh my God, how many times did he say legal loophole in that sales video? In his video is not allowed service he tried to make big money on. Yes, and I even pointed that out from the very, very beginning. And he's like, nope, we can do it. We've got these prop firms that, they know what we're doing and they're going to allow it. Well, no, they didn't. And when Jono found out about it, that's when it all became a do-it-yourself project. That's when he put out that flippin', video saying, oh, no can do, got to get you out of RFP. And here we're going to mess you around on the refund policy. We're going to get you to sign this and sign away the possibility of you getting a refund for 7 months. The Infinity bot has not passed anybody's challenge yet, ever. And now they've got a new one out. As again, just like in Project Limitless, they keep on coming out with new ones. So the first one didn't work. It could fail a challenge in 7 days. So Jonas is always going on about how good this thing is. Then how can it fail this way? Jonas himself was trying to pass somebody's challenge, and he failed it. He failed it for him. What the heck? So as she keeps saying, Jonas/Infinity talked bad of RFP, blaming them for something not working. Well, yeah, and he did just in that film I just showed you. When in reality, now they found out that Jonah was offering illegal crap. And when I directly confronted them, well, then RFP had to defend themselves for being correct and legal, of course. But that totally smashes Jonah and Infinity. And doesn't it ever? So from the very beginning, Jonah knew he was trying to pull a fast one. And it wasn't a legal loophole. So Jonah tried to pull a fast one. Then he tried to blame RFP for it. And then he just washed his hands of the entire thing. Left you with training materials. Left you with Jonas. Left you with support that never answers you back. And left you with insufficient training materials. A bot that doesn't work. And, well, webinars that may or may not happen. That's what Infinity has come down to. So does anybody watching this still think that this isn't fraud? That this wasn't an illegal operation that kind of went wrong? That went wrong. They offered you one thing, they sold you a different thing. And they knew in the background. And then things just started to go screwier and screwier until finally Real Funded Program said, look, we did not sign up for account management. You can't do that. And then Jono had to tap dance around it and then put everybody in a horrible position by going into that 7-month refund period. And that's just so that Jono wouldn't have people leaving in droves and having, chargebacks. I'll tell you right now, if you ask for a refund, then they'll show you that agreement and they'll say, no, you haven't been through the 7 months yet. You got to stay. And now we won't talk to you about it anymore. Well, and then, if people go to their banks to try to do a chargeback, people, you got to listen to this. If you try to do a chargeback, the banks will then say, if you don't tell them it's fraud, the banks will just say, Jonah will send his legal team anyways, will send that friggin' contract over to them, and then the bank will say, oh, well, you signed it, blah, and they won't do anything. You have to go in guns blazing and tell them it is fraud, and then claim for services not as described, because this isn't what you signed up for. And then also terms and conditions the refund policy keeps changing, and the terms and conditions are just not clear whatsoever. So that's a huge problem as well, and it's under those two things that you can claim under fraud, and then all of those stupid conflicting clauses in the agreement doesn't matter, because an agreement made for something illegal is unenforceable. So if you're going to think of going for that refund, it would be a good idea. If you do need help, please don't hesitate to contact me. My contact information from Telegram is available at the bottom of the description. We do have a refund group, and as you can see, they're coming up with a lot of good information. They're doing some digging. I love these guys. So if you do need some support, help, would like to be in with a group of other people who are getting their chargebacks back. And people are getting their money back left, right, and center. PayPal hardly even hesitates anymore when someone goes to them with either Real Funding Program or Infinity. They're just dishing out the money back. I just hope that Jonah loses PayPal, because then he won't be a vendor on WarriorPlus anymore. And that's my dream. Well, if these videos are helping you at all, please consider buying me a cup of coffee. The donation link is at the top of the description, or is in the description and at the top of the comments. Thank you. Please also like and subscribe. The channel would really appreciate that, and especially the subscribes. And you have a great day. Bye-bye.